The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
That opening cracks you up every time,
yeah? It does, sorry.
That's the Fall River Miami vice.
I know.
Well, welcome back. It's 2019, and we're back for one more show of the Table Topics. This is the first show of this year. And John, how was the holidays?
Yeah,
thank God it's gone.
Nice. Yeah, it's
you know,
over
thank
with.
God it's done.
Although it's cold today, that's why I got a sweatshirt on here. It's freezing out, you know?
Yeah, I know. And I think they're expecting the first snowstorm.
Yeah. Well, this will be our second
season.
one, remember? Because we got like 4 or 5 inches back in November, I think.
I don't even remember.
Oh, we did. I remember. I remember it. Well, it wasn't that bad, but you're right. We're in for it, I guess, from what they're saying. Mm-hmm.
So we have so much going on around the country and nationally and citywide. We are getting ready for another election.
Yeah. Are you running?
No.
There's so many people running. I thought you would.
No. No.
I'm joking with you, Carlos, but
yeah,
it's true. We have a lot of people that are running.
You know, taking that seriously, I believe that somebody's knocking in doors, just knocking in doors, make sure we have like a list of 50 people running. You know, it's like a game.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like a game. It's it's like that. You know, it's not another way to take a mayor out of office at this point.
I agree.
And a lot of things could happen this year.
Yeah.
But we have some candidates coming out. So yes, everybody was like afraid. I believe people were afraid that Will Flanagan was going to run again. Everybody was running back and forth. No, you cannot run. Why?
Really?
You afraid that you can win again?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It would come part of that story that they're supposedly making about Fall River, right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be a good part of this story where the person that was recalled became mayor again? It would be a good end to the story.
What he has to do to get recalled again was have another meeting after nights, but change the car now. Make sure it has a dashboard. And
but you know what, Carlos, just to kind of break into the number of people you know, running, I kind of at least thought, at least in my mind, and that doesn't really say much, but at least in my mind, I would have thought that we wouldn't have a lot of people running. Because if you look at what happened last time, Flanagan was recalled, Sutter became the mayor, and then 8 months later he was gone. So I would think that maybe some people would be afraid not to do that, you know what I mean, wait until the actual, you know, full term in November.
I mean, a lot of people see this as a easy pass.
I don't know if it's that easy.
You don't have too much. You don't have too much time to campaign, so you don't need too much money to spend.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can get in with a very small number of votes. Very small number of votes can get you in, depending if the lists are full of good candidates. You can be on top with 50 votes.
Yeah, that's true.
So somebody can win this election with 50 votes, with 20 votes. That's exactly when the vote counts.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect situation, because even if 10,000 people go out to vote, this can come down to 20 votes difference.
Yeah, it's true.
For this election. Because remember, now you have 3, I will say, out of the candidates, and I'm not taking the value of them. Yeah. It's, you know, it's a great thing on this country when you have this this thing that you can run if you want to.
Yeah.
But let's realize that we have 3 candidates that gonna get the majority of the votes. Okay, we have the mayor that still has its supporters out there. Then you have Paul Coogan, which is, I believe, it's going to have a good number of young votes, first-time voters, and probably bringing parents and grandparents to vote because they want to elect their candidate.
Yeah.
Then you have Kyle, that remember that Linda is supporting Kyle, and Linda has always had a good number of voters, supporters.
Yeah.
And then now you have Rigo,
It's interesting.
which has a good number of votes out there. So the votes are so spread. The votes are so tired. They're going to be counted and over-counted.
And you forgot Joe Camara.
And Joe Camara, exactly. Yeah. So we already mentioned 5.
Yeah.
5 candidates that's going to have a good number of votes. So, like I said, they could be apart 20 votes apart.
Yeah. No, you're right.
The way I see it. And remember, and then recall, we never have a good number of voting.
Yeah. Well, who were the people that running in the last recall? Do you remember? I know it was Sutter, right?
Yes,
Was it Mike Mioza too?
Was Mike Mioza?
There weren't as many people. I don't remember.
No, it was a good number. It was a good number of.
But I think you got to look at what was Coogan's? I think wasn't he like the top vote getter in the school committee? I thought.
Who?
Coogan, right? Paul Coogan, wasn't he like the top vote getter?
He was one of
or
the
high up there.
Yeah, he was one of the good.
Yeah, so it's or what could happen is it's so spread out that Mayor Correa could get back in again.
Exactly. So we had the recall of Mayor Flanagan. We had Waylon Flanagan, Paul Henderson,
Okay. Yeah.
Ron Cabral, Sean Kadim, Dave Dennis, Louis Millane, Mike Mioza, and Sam Sada. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candidates.
Yeah, but I think some of the candidates were
the difference
new.
is
they were new to the
they
council.
were new. So who really got a good number of votes here was Flanagan and
Sutter.
And Sutter.
Yeah. Who was the third out of that? Does it
Sean
show?
Kadim got a good number of votes too.
So he was the third then. Out
Yes.
Of that.
Yes. And then you had Mioza, probably another candidate that got. I was surprised with Dave Dennis. He didn't got that many. I thought that he was going to get a lot more. I remember, and he didn't get that many. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how this gonna turn out.
Yeah.
But
what's your prediction? I might even say that the mayor might get in again with all these people running, because you got to look at too. They each have a base in the city council. Joe has a base. Coogan has a base in the school committee. So it's going to be interesting. Dan Rigo had a strong base, like you were saying. And I think they between Joe and Dan and Paul Coogan, they probably got roughly 4,000 or 5,000 votes.
yes.
So
Remember,
how many people vote? 15,000?
Remember too, every good candidate that's going to get a good amount of money is draining the votes from the mayor.
Yeah.
The votes have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and those going to drain from the mayor.
Yeah.
Remember that a lot of people that signed the petition for the recall signed it knew, and there was a good possibility that everybody was going to know who they are, and they were not afraid to sign the petition.
Yeah.
But was a lot of people that didn't sign the petition. Okay, so they will keep the secret, and when they go to the box, nobody knows what they're voting for.
And I think that happened with Flanagan too. A lot of people that anybody that works for the city, They were afraid at that time, and I think the same thing with Jazel actually published it, which is a lot different than Flanagan never published it. You know, that's the big difference.
Another thing too is, you remember that everybody, when I'm talking to you, I'm going to tell you that I'm voting for you. It's just because you're in front of me. But when I go to the box, you don't know if I'm going to vote for you or not.
You're different than me, Carlos. I'll tell somebody. All right, if I don't tell, I'm not going to say if I meet somebody,
but you know,
I'm voting for you.
How people react. It's like they don't want to say, you know, they don't want to be rude, I guess.
No,
they don't want to say, no, I'm not going to vote for you. Say, oh, yeah, I will support you. And that's what...
So you're a little bit different. People would ask you that. Me, I'm like, it's not, you know what I mean? I'm the regular citizen here. So, I mean, they won't even ask, and I'd be like...
And the thing is, Flanagan was so sure that he was going to get the recall election because everybody was telling him, oh, I'm going to vote for you, I'm going to vote for you. So when he start counting the votes that people are telling you they're going to vote for you, and then those, look what happened with Linda.
Well, I think.
Look what happened with Linda when she ran. Okay. She did all the polls. And all the polls were showing that she was going to win. She had so many votes. And then came the date, the difference was huge. The date was huge. So that's the proof that people didn't tell her that they were not going to vote for her.
I think now, you know, after, you know, the last presidential election, you can't count on polling. Because people are not going to tell you.
People's not going to tell you.
You know what I mean? I don't even answer my phone, but like a year ago or even 6 months ago, people would call, are you going to vote on this question? Who are you going to vote for as the governor? I'm like, I haven't decided yet. People don't want to do that because of the way things are now. So you're right. I don't think polling is very reliable anymore.
Those polls are the same, have the same effect that the ones that they do on our regular radio stations. Means nothing. You know, the guy calls 3 times to say they're going to vote for that candidate.
Or don't some of these candidates probably tell their supporters, call in now?
Exactly. It's a poll on the radio. I'm getting a bunch of text messages. You know, text your friends, let your friends to call the poll. You know, and so it's really you cannot count with those polls. That's just for conversation of TV shows like us. You know?
No, it's going to be interesting.
It has no value.
I don't know how people are going to go because a lot of these folks did get a decent amount of votes when they were running for either school committee or city council. So I'm kind of going
again,
with,
I'm not saying that the mayor don't have a chance. He still has a chance. I mean, if it's like a game. If you play, you have a chance. If you don't play, you don't have a chance. You're never going to win if you don't play. So he's playing, and everybody that plays has a chance. Now, that I think that he lost a lot of support, yes. That I think that a lot of people telling him they're going to vote for him, and they're not going to vote for him on the poll when they go out to vote. That's possible. Okay, so. At this point, it's up in the air. If it was just 2 good candidates, I would probably could tell you more. You know, we kind of could call the election. Having all these 5 good candidates on.
I think though too, with especially the last election, with the last recall with Flanagan, I think there were a lot of people, they weren't really mad or upset with him. I think they just were to the point where he can't really govern because there's all this chaos constantly. You remember how it was back then. It was just totally chaos. So a lot of people just wanted that portion to end. And I believe a lot of people probably did vote against Flanagan due to that. Now, what comes into play with Jazel, he put everybody's name in the paper, which to me sounds like being vindictive toward folks. What does that prove? It, to me, personally shows you're being spiteful. So if someone was a supporter and they saw them doing that, and a family member did sign, which on the last recall you had people that were family, one was for the one, it's just going to get you upset. You know?
And another thing that I'm seeing is people that supporting him are defending him, saying that he was good for the city. Well, he was good for the city. Every mayor that goes there does something for the city. That's why they're the mayor. Now that he did enough. I mean, I saw somewhere somebody show me a bunch of stuff that he accomplished. You didn't accomplish all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It's easy for you, and that's what I don't like in a candidate, because I want to do 50 things, but I just accomplished 2. I want to be true. I'm going to say I wanted to do 50 things, but I was able to accomplish 2 things.
Yeah.
Because of this reason, that reason, the support from city council or not support from the city council, you know, I was not able, or they don't work together, I was not able to. But just because we had grants and everything was on the work to give police cars and the fire department trucks and everything, why I'm going to say that I did it? I didn't did it. Came out during my years,
came out,
but that is
well, if you
did it.
If you go by the fire apparatus, I know Pam, the city councilor, Pam Liberty LeBeau, was working on that with Mike Dion.
Exactly.
And then the mayor just kind of hopped onto it, but it was so you.
So it's a lot of things there.
You take credit for it because it's during your time, but it's not totally of your making.
Let's be honest.
Granted, he could say, "I don't want to do that," but I mean, yeah. And look what this is one thing that's been frustrating me is. Look at the economy across the country. Here in Fall River, what's the unemployment rate at? 4 or 5%, which is really low. So that means people are buying cars now, so it means that we're getting more money in our excise tax bills. People are buying homes now here, so we're getting more income into the city. So to me, if you can't make things flow when the economy is like this, how the heck are you going to run it when we're at 20% employment like we were back in the 90s? You know what I mean? We have to look at it. These people that dealt with this back then, you know, Carrera, when we had the housing crash in 2009, it was kind of like, here, this is your budget. The state of Massachusetts said, we're cutting $20, $30 million or whatever it was. Try to find, where are you going to get that?
And another thing that really bothers me.
And the state provides a lot of funding to us through our state reps.
Exactly. We have monies coming in that has nothing to do with him being there or not. Could be anybody sitting on that office. We're going to get those grants, and we're going to, because the city has to run. Just because, you know, I'm sitting in there, I cannot say that it was my job. No, was done, started with the mayor, the last mayor, and I just let her roll, and you know, happened during my time.
Yeah, that's all.
You know,
You get
because
that's
a lot
politics.
of people, it's easier to do it that way than somebody posted and said, no, you didn't did it this. Sam put the the harbor mall. You know.
Well, that was even started, if you look at it, Carlos. I'm sure that was started with Flanagan, with the economic development folks.
Yes.
So you had that. And, you know, he's the one that kind of, you know, they worked to it together. But you know what? This mayor came into office, and he just happened to be sitting in the chair when it happened.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yes, it does look like things have happened, but this has been over years and years that these things have gone. But yeah, I mean, have things been done around here? Yeah, but they were years in the making. They were years when I remember,
And believe me, and it is some things that he's working right now that's going to get finished when he's no longer in office. And he's still going to have, you know, credit for, because it was his idea and he started. So that doesn't mean that, you know, that he's not going to get the credit for the stuff that he did it. Because I'm not going to say that he did nothing, okay? He did some stuff, but guess what? The situation that we are right now, that's what's hurting him. I'm not even going to agree that, you know, was something the city, because he put the city this way or the city that way. I'm not even going to go there. It's some projects that he should do it different. It's some projects that he should not touch it. Yes, I agree. It's some stuff that he did it. Yes, he did it. But it's not going to be done during your time serving.
Yeah.
The fruits of your work is going to come after. So, but hey, from the city, I want to go.
You're tired with the city, right?
I want to go.
With the economy.
No.
No, with the economy.
I want to go.
Oh, Jesus, no.
With the shutdown. Come on, we're not going to talk about the shutdown.
You mean?
Let's blame the Democrats from the bar. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about Schumer's shutdown. Why don't we talk about Schumer's shutdown?
Schumer?
And the Democratic shutdown. Why don't we talk about that? The Democrats, 30 of them, were in Puerto Rico enjoying the sunny weather over the weekend. And the president was in Washington, D.C. saying, I'm waiting for them to show up. During the Christmas holiday, Christmas break, Nancy Pelosi, the head of that group, right? The head of it, she was in Hawaii at a luxury resort. The president was at the White House. You know, neither side is right. You know what I mean? You know, whenever there's any kind of argument, there's two sides to the story. So nobody's right. However, I do have an issue when there are people that are not going to get paid, and you go before the cameras and say, not one dime for a border wall. And the president says, you have to give on this. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to, not one, and you laugh. So you're not willing to compromise at all. The art of compromise has died. You know, back in the 90s and the 80s, so people compromised.
Let me ask you this.
And the mayor's even willing to look at DACA. Up to December,
he had it, the House and the state. He had it, a budget and money put aside for that project. Why was not done?
They're using it. But Carlos, you know, and I listen to a lot of these voting things, and the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party, basically you have, you know, two sides to it. You got a very far left portion, then you have the center, and then you have a more conservative part of the Democratic Party. That is the same with the Republicans. How many different senators or congressmen did we have that were like, no, they were almost like Democrats, really. So you're going to have both spectrums. So that was the same happened with Obama. Obama couldn't get one Republican to sign on to his health care bill. But not one. That's why he had to do executive orders.
John, but right now, he's not getting the wall because he cannot get the votes from his own party.
No, he is. He has enough votes in the Senate. That's why the Senate's holding this up. The Senate has the majority, and those people are behind the wall. You have the Congress people. Look at some of the new people that came in through Congress. Really, look at some of them. Do you think they're ever going to vote for a wall? They're so far to the left that they want to abolish ICE. When you want to abolish the enforcement agency, what does that tell you? They're not going to want to build a wall.
Again, everybody, a lot of people voted because he was the best negotiator. Best negotiator. Okay? And he is something that he cannot negotiate. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you come to a table for negotiation, you're not going to go straight to them and say, you're going to give me what I want? No. Okay, no deal.
Carlos,
you don't do that.
Carlos, do you realize the last budget, which everybody on the media is talking about, where we created a $1 trillion deficit? Have you heard that on the news? Trump's thing, he's added more debt on $1 trillion. A lot of that stuff was from the Democrats. What is it? Schumer wanted a new tunnel in New York that cost billions of dollars. That was wrapped up in that. People don't realize what's wrapped up in these different monies. And what's going to happen is, isn't Trump going to get blamed? His budget increased the budget by $1 trillion. But none of those things in that $1 trillion raise were Democratic things. None of that stuff in there was for the Democrats. So I blame both parties, because both parties, they cannot pass anything that's going to have a clean thing.
You know why? Because the Democrats they're not pushing a line.
Why?
Because
they don't want the president to win. No, he doesn't own it.
Carlos, he told them, I don't care. It's not going to even be. It's not going to even be your shutdown. It's going to be my shutdown.
Well,
I'm the guy. Believe me.
Carlos,
and now
look at it this
we are
way.
blaming him. Right. Now it's the Democrats. So now we go back to Democrats.
But why? But he's willing to negotiate. Why won't they sit down? When they
went in, not negotiate if we don't give them the money.
No, well, what
for the wall?
So what?
The wall.
So why would you
now
negotiate?
It's the fence.
What are the Democrats going to do?
Then it's the fence, and so we still don't know what it is, but it's something.
It's a fence, a perimeter, like they have slats in El Paso. But I look at it this way: if this is what the person wants, right? and you won't give them that, but they've given you all this other stuff. That's what happened with the president last time. In order to get the military funded, he had to give the Democrats all these projects and all these different things. That's why we had $1 trillion increase in the deficit. But who's going to owe that? The president, right? Because he's the president at the time. That's what they're going to say.
I think, and we talked when we talk about immigration.
Yeah.
You know how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right for them to come here.
Yeah.
But I think we're not doing a good job as keeping us safe.
I agree.
So instead of money for the wall,
you're going to give me the last 2 minutes.
Instead of spending $5 billion in the wall, let's spend $10 billion and boots on the ground, hiring people. Yeah. So we can go when you have a complaint that's an illegal working on that factory, we have manpower to go into that factory and make that owner responsible
Carlos,
for that.
Do you remember what happened in New Bedford about 15 years ago? How people were demonized when they went into that factory and pulled all the people out of that factory in New Bedford?
It was done.
But do you remember how the media demonized everything?
But that's done. But that's security border.
Yeah.
That's border security there.
I hear you.
That's,
I hear you.
Know,
but I look at it this way. Look what was happening in San Diego from Tijuana. They were actually running and throwing rocks at the border guards. If there's no gate there, right? If there was no gate, they'd just run right in. At least the folks had a barrier to stop them. If you don't have a barrier there, they're just going to walk in and throw rocks at you.
And another thing, I don't want to defend them.
Yeah.
But I don't like when he refers to them criminals.
23% of the people that are in federal prison are people that are not legal in this country.
Okay. And the other 75%,
Doesn't matter. We're here. You're here.
Yeah, but they're criminals too.
But I expect.
But they're criminals.
I accept.
That's why they're there.
I accept the criminals that live here, but I don't want to accept 25% more people that are criminals.
Because
I don't
guess
want
what?
That. Why would we want that?
A drunk driver, an illegal drunk driver, killed somebody.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So, but then after that, that's wrong. But after that, we're going to have 100 Americans killing people drunk driving, but that's okay because it's legal.
Carlos, no. Because that person shouldn't have been here, so it should have never happened. That person shouldn't have been here. It should never have happened. I don't care if there's 100 people doing it. We have to deal with our own people. But if 10 people come in and they're not supposed to be here, they're not supposed to be there. It should have never happened. That's what people's issues are. But I want to end because we only have a couple more minutes here. I want to talk about the economy. Now, I don't know if you remember back in 2016, during the last presidential campaign, a lot of the folks were coming out saying, you know those manufacturing jobs? They're gone. They're in China. They're gone. They're never coming back. Do you remember hearing that? Okay. Well, in 2018, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have gained 284,000 manufacturing jobs. I thought we weren't supposed to get them anymore. Now, the other statistic was from 2000, I believe it was 2009 to 2016, we lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. So within just this year, we gained 284,000. So why would we complain with this economy? We've got 9 straight months of more job openings than people that are looking for jobs. We have the lowest unemployment rate for everyone. So I don't know why people are so upset. You know what I mean? They get so upset about these silly things with the president. Isn't it the economy stupid? Remember Clinton said that? It's the economy stupid. Everything else should not even matter. And I think a lot of people don't even listen to a lot of these media places anymore because they're not true.
And you don't believe that this is something that it was been working years before that he got in?
Because our GDP has grown. It's at 4%. That was another thing they said back in 2016. The GDP, we just got to get used to 1% and 2%. That's just how things are. You know what I mean? So these are policies that came into play. They got rid of a lot of regulations to move the economy. We had a businessman come in that moves the economy.
And once again, I'm not saying that he's not doing a good job in some stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem was he was never supposed to be elected president.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Okay.
That's what they say, but it happened.
Okay, but happened, but never should happen. And now we see the consequences. Nobody wants to work with him
Why
because
shouldn't it
from
happen?
the beginning, he didn't got the majority of the votes. He got there because with some interests for him to be there, and we about to find out how he got there. That's another story. That's another show.
I hear the music, so I'm not going to talk anymore. Have a good night.
See you next week.